Hello everyone, welcome back to a Savvy voice modulation workshop. My name is Savvy and today I will be teaching you how to feminize your voice, how to masculinize your voice, how to make it sound androgynous. Really, at the end of this, you will have the tools and the bare bone methodology to understand how voice functions and how you can modulate it to your will and whims. So this workshop, usually what we do is I get 4 people up on stage, 2 people who want to feminize their voices, 2 people who want to masculinize their voices, so we kind of see a lot of things throughout this hour. Be sure to keep your mics muted when you're not on stage, and yep, that's pretty much it. So some things I need to preface first before we start is that when it comes to voice work, we want to be making sure to drink water 10 to 15 minutes before doing any voice work. That is because your voice needs hydration to function. So if you drink water, it does not go directly hydrate your vocal folds, okay? The water will actually only come through the blood flow and so on and so forth. So be sure to drink at least 10 to 15 minutes before using your voice. That's also just general advice. Drink water. I know it's kind of crazy advice, but try to apply that. Then next up is vocal hygiene and medication. So for some of us, like me included, we go through the hay fever season, so I have to take antihistamines, and this type of medication is known to be dehydrating to the voice and the body. So what I try to do is I try to take that medication in the morning and do most of my work in the afternoon, evening. You might have different medications, different times where you need to take it. So try to keep that in mind. Don't stop taking any medication, right? If you take some medications, do take those, all right? It's meant to happen for a reason. But try to maybe work around it, right? Like if you take this medication in the evening, prefer voice work earlier in the day, and vice versa, etc., etc. So that goes also for spironolactone, which is very common amongst HRT users. So be sure to keep in mind and keep in check what you put in your body, because this can impact your voice and how much of an easier time you will have or not doing these medications or not. Talking about medication, there's also substances, so alcohol, smoking, also caffeine. They're known to be dehydrating to the body, so at the end of the day, body autonomy reigns supreme, but try to work around this. Okay, with that being said, let's move on into voice, and let's try to understand how this all functions. So I use what we call the PSF model. It stands for Power Source Filter Model. And very simply put, we basically have our power here, which are our lungs. And so we push air up the trachea, which eventually reaches the source. That will be basically what's behind your Adam's apple on your neck. And what's behind your Adam's apple is what we call the larynx, or the voice box. And within the voice box, you'll find like little flaps that open and close really fast, hundreds of times per second, and that produces the source sound that will make up the main texture of the voice. But texture specifically will then be filtered because the sound will move up, reverberate, and bounce around in all of the space, which we call the vocal tract. Effectively, the size and shape of the vocal tract allows us to filter out certain frequencies produced by the vocal folds that are vibrating. And so through that filtering, we can achieve really feminine, bright voices or really masculine, dark voices. And it's through that filter modification that we will tend to find most of the gender perception that will be warped thanks to this little thing here. But I'm not here to push you into one voice box or another. I mean, the binary is already narrow enough as it is. So there is one thing that is binary, however, that we can agree on is testosterone. At least testosterone exposure to individual may or may not be the same from one person to another. That much is certain. But what we do tend to find with testosterone is that it has 3 main effects on our voices. Typically, the first thing that testosterone does is it makes our Adam apple bigger and it makes it drop. Effectively,
making our vocal tract a lot bigger, and thus my voice sounds a lot more cavernous, a lot more dark. The second thing that testosterone does is it makes the vocal folds that are otherwise vibrating really fast, they start to vibrate like really slow. Because testosterone lengthens them so they can now vibrate slower. And with slower vibrations, you get lower pitches. Right? The last thing is, just like in the rest of the body, it increases vocal fold mass. Well, not the rest of the body, but, you know, your whole body will gain muscle mass, and so your voice also has partial parts of it that are made out of muscle. And so, if those muscle flex, you get this really thick, boomy voice, which really makes your voice sound super masculine and very textured. Actually, too textured, in a sense. And if you want to feminize your voice, you basically want to revert all of these three things that testosterone otherwise imposed on you. Well, part of it is testosterone, part of it is social expectations and you trying to match the gender that you were supposed to have, for example, but that's beyond the point. Testosterone or not, we do want to achieve a smaller vocal tract, a higher pitch, and perhaps a softer voice if your voice started harsh to begin with like more vocal fold mass to avoid this like buzzy sound up here. And for a voice masculinization instead, you're going to want to, well, mimic the effects of testosterone, even if that has not expressed itself in your body as much as it has for me, for example. Being AMAB and having a higher likelihood to have testosterone be expressed. And so, with that being said, that's how voice functions. So let's do a little warm up. This is the only time where you're all allowed to unmute yourselves. So unmute yourselves. Don't be scared. It's going to be fine. I'm going to do a sound and then you'll mimic after me. This is just in a way to kind of get our voice started up. So, you know, start your engines and all that. All right, let's go. So I'm going to do an O sound as in the word oak. Listen closely. Oh. Let's try this all together in 3, 2, 1. Very good. A sweet symphony to my ears. Now let's try a different sound. This time a Z sound, as in the word zoo. I go first. Let's try this all together in 3, 2, 1. Very good. Awesome. And last but not least, we're going to do a lip trill. This little funny sound, like a horse, I guess, or whatever. I go first. All right, let's try this in 3, 2, 1. All right, very good. Good job. And now, please mute yourselves. Again, very good warm-up. Good job, everyone. We'll move on to the next and most exciting part of the workshop, which is I'll get up on stage people who want to directly work and feminize their voices or masculinize their voices. Let's start with, drum roll, masc voice today. If you want to make your voice more masculine, please jump in place, raise your hand, or use the hand emoji, which I don't know where to find. But there's like a hands blade emoji like this. Yeah, there we go. All right, do we have anyone interested in making their voices more masculine, perhaps? Would you be interested to Zaha? Is that what you're jumping, or is it just ADHD? Oh, all right. Is it for masc voice? You're not speaking. Oh,
Hello? Did you crash? Seems that way. All right. Bonnie, yes. You want to make your voice masculine? Yes? All right, come up on stage. Come on, come on. All right, everyone give a big round of applause to Bonnie. Woo! Just jump up on stage. Yeah. Hey, all right. Let me set a timer because I'm really good at voice, but not good at keeping track of time. So let's try this out. All right, Bonnie, can you speak?
Hello?
Hello, thank you very much. All right, Bonnie, welcome. Is this the very first time that you're up on stage or just
Correct.
in the workshop?
This is my very first time. I have not done
Alright.
voice training before.
Ever, ever, ever. Like
Ever.
never. Oh my
Never.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's so much to discover. That's crazy. Okay, so you're familiar with the terms of pitch, high pitch,
Low pitch.
that much, you know?
Sort of, yes.
Okay, that's very good. How about vocal fold mass? That's something you are familiar with, or the terms I pretty much gave you before, like the
Not
thickness of your
exactly.
voice.
Not exactly.
Okay.
It's sometimes hard for me to understand.
Okay, that's fine. Just keep these three things in mind. Generally speaking, most femme voices tend to be higher in pitch and be softer and have like this bright sound quality to it. But if you want to achieve a masculine voice, you're going to want to
Achieve a bigger size? Go for a lower pitch, and perhaps added bonus, add a bit of vocal fold mass to really have that textured mask voice.
So, what do we start with? First, I want to hear what kind of pitch range you got. Oh yeah, before you start, can you check your sound settings on VR and see that your noise suppression is turned off? And also make sure that the mic activation threshold is all the way down to 0%.
Yep.
Is
I already
that all
have
good?
it like that. Mm-hmm.
All right, perfect. Awesome. So let's try this now. Give me a slide from your highest to your lowest pitch. Try it out. What's that last pitch here down there? F3. Very good. Can you try it again? This time try to hold that last pitch and tap it like. Try it out. Okay, this is a G sharp 3. Very good. So we're gonna try and start to masculinize your voice around this. So right now you have like a Our goal is to make it sound like a
Like a much darker version of that.
to make it sound more masculine leaning. So let's try just that. What do we do? Well, I like to use sound exploration practice. Sound exploration practice just means I do a sound, you do a sound, and you notice some things happen that change your body, but most importantly, the sound you produce changes. So I want you to focus on a whisper. Can you give me a gentle whisper on the word hello, for example? Like, hello.
Hello.
Awesome. Listen to your hello. How does it sound like? Does it sound like hello? Does it sound like hello? Right? What kind of sound do you get here? So try it out again. Hello.
Hello.
Very good. So you notice that your whisper is quite bright. Whispers are generally not really thought of as gendered, but you kind of can make out that this whisper here, hello, is brighter and higher than this one. Hello. Right? If you were to attribute a gender to these two, would you be able to?
Yes.
All right, very good. So let's get you to have a masculine leaning whisper in a sense. So let's try the following. You're going to say the words pat that cat, like a little cat, pat that cat. And we're going to say that on a whisper. Pat that cat. Try it out.
Pat that cat.
Very good. And now we're going to try to make that pat much darker.
Going like Dark Vader dark.
Pat, pat.
Pat, pat, pat. Pat that cat.
Try it out.
Pat 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 that cat.
Yes, very good. Now compare those two. Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Try to do the bright one and then the dark one.
Pat that cat. Pat that cat.
That's really good. I want you to pay attention. You kind of had this like pat that cat, and then you had this really interesting sound here. You could hear that your breath was tuning itself for a bigger vocal tract. This is really important because you didn't technically do pa 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 pa. You kind of remembered the position and you went back for it. That's really good, okay? So you already maybe have something of muscle memory that's maybe built in a little bit more easily. So that's really good. Now, what I want you to do from this dark
Pat that cat.
is we're going to try to bridge that whisper into a balanced voice, just the way I speak or
The way I speak, or
the way I speak. It's not so much about pitch, it's more so about like the quality of the sound. Let's talk about that real quick. What do I mean by going into a balanced voice? Well, if you take a look at this graph here, what you're doing here when you say pat that cat is a whisper, right? So your vocal folds are completely open. All the sound you hear is the air brushing past the vocal folds, but there's not the back and forth of open, close that creates a balanced voice. So what we like to do here is we use that dark whisper to then achieve a dark balanced voice. Effectively, pa 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 pa.
Pat that cat.
Using the whisper as a guide, a landmark that we can listen to and follow into a balanced voice. So try this after me, just like a quick mimicry thing. Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Pa 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 pa. Pat that cat.
Pat pa 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 pat that cat.
And now this.
Pat that cat.
Try it out.
Oh, pat that cat.
Yes, very good. Do you hear yourself?
Pat that cat. It's quite dark here. If I was to do the exact same pitch with a small space, pat that cat would sound like pa 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 pa.
Pat that cat. Try say this. Pat that cat. And then try to jump back to
Pat that cat.
Pat that cat. Pat that cat.
yes, yes, so good. Okay, good job. That's it. What you just did here is you modified the texture of the sound. It's wild, isn't it? Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
But you know what the crazy thing is? You didn't change the pitch at all. So if you're like, take it up on a software that tells you what your pitch is, it will be a straight line. But your ears will hear that there's a major difference. Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
All right. So we are lacking on time here a little bit. I would have done a little bit more like try to read a little bit with that voice and test it and try to kind of like move the pitch around. Maybe like do like this quick little sentence, no pressure, because we're short on time. But from this dark pat that cat that you found, pat that cat.
Pat that cat. Can you try to read this? Pat that cat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Try it out.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Ah, interesting here.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
It kind of got smaller, right, as you went at the end of the sentence.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
It kind of started to go back to your normal behavior voice, right? So like you use your the behavior you're used to. This is what I call gravity of behavior. I mean, I'm not the first one to coin the term, but there is some truth to it. Where like your brain is lazy, don't worry, mine is more lazy than yours. Uh, and basically, lazy brains meaning like we tend to go to what we do every day, right? Like we tend to go for like the patterns we recognize, and so
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
that's a pattern of voice that you don't really recognize. It's new, it's different. So your brain is like, yeah, let's go back to what we usually do, please. And it's happening maybe like outside of your control. So this is where most of the voice work phase is going to be working on focusing on making sure that it doesn't trail back up in the case of voice masculinization. But this is a really solid start.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
From there, you already sound very dark, right? So like we basically went from like I would say like femme voice, like average femme voice, to like perhaps like more femme androgynous in your case, but we went from like this femme voice to like
A very young masc voice.
right? Because the size really dictates a lot of that. One of the more difficult things for you would probably be to find lower pitches, but if you practice every day and, try to push your pitch a little bit lower each time, especially knowing that you have done no practice at all regarding this, right? There's probably a bunch of pitches that you have yet to unlock, and you could
Probably go from that mad brat sat on that flat mat to da 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 da. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
which could already sound a lot more in line with what you want to achieve. But yes, that was enough words put in your head. Sorry. I hope that wasn't too much. But yeah, that was really solid start. Bonnie, I wish you the best for the rest of your voice work. And yeah, I'll see you around. Everyone give a big round of applause to Bonnie. Woo! All right. See you around.
Thank you. See you.
All right, next up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices more feminine. So jump in place if you do. All right, let's see. Okay, I see this. This is a colorful avatar. Tanaxi, have you already been on stage before? All right, come up on stage. Come on, come on. All right. Come on. Hello. Everyone, give a big round of applause to Tanaxi. Woo! Okay, hi, welcome. Wait, no, let's ADHD focus. All right, Taxi, hi. First time on stage ever? Yeah. All right, let's get this started. I'm starting the timer so I don't lose track of time. So yeah, have you already done some voice work of your own before?
A very small amount.
All right. What about voice acting? Doing funny things with voice? I heard the kind of like birdie sound, so I'm guessing yes?
Yeah, I like not too specifically, not a lot of concerted effort, but I have been trying to mess with my voice more often lately.
Awesome, very good. That's the spirit. Messing with your voice is the best way to progress, so keep that up. So, we're going to want to do basically the complete opposite of what we did with Bonnie here, which is we're going to want to feminize your voice. So, like, let's check this out. What kind of pitch range do you have? Could you give me a slide from your
Lowest pitch.
up to your highest pitch? Okay. Oh, G4, very good. Okay, quite some range. You have more than enough to have a femme voice, don't you worry. All right, now what I want to do is same thing as before. Could you please make sure that your noise suppression settings are turned off, etc., etc. So like go into the sound settings, noise suppression off, perfect, awesome. Now can you give me a gentle whisper, like,
Hello.
all right, it comes through. Can you say the words, pat that cat?
Pat that cat. Pat that cat.
Very good, awesome. And now we try the following.
Paw, paw,
Pa, pa, pa,
paw, paw, pa, pa.
Yes, very good. Careful at the end. I'm hearing up to here. It's fine. And then I can tell your tongue was maybe clashing with the roof. Yeah. Your starting to like clash with the roof of your mouth. So you don't want to go too far, because if you read, then your voice is gonna sound like this, right? Exactly. You're gonna sound like wow, 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 which is fun and all, and it's probably super cool for like beatboxing beats, like. But anyways, that's not the topic here. Um, so, so just before that, you had this really bright sound. That one was really good. And so I want you to find that sound again. But before you do this, take your hand and put it gently on your neck. I mean, take your feathers, I mean. And feel for your little bump on your neck there. Yeah? You feel your bump? Good. That's your Adam's apple. Technically, it's just the cartilage part of the larynx. But when you do the dark pat,
Try saying dark pat. You shouldn't feel like all the way low. Yeah.
and I want you to give me a bright pat. Yeah. Did you feel it go up?
Yeah, I feel it moving up and down. It's very distracting.
It's weird. Sorry, yeah. Some people find it disturbing, but I find it really useful just to kind of see that, yeah, things are moving, things are happening. So just like a little awareness thing. You don't need to do that all the time, but that can be useful. And so you reach for that really bright sound. And from there, what I want you to do is try to whisper with that bright pat that cat. Pat that cat. Try to whisper that first sentence, like, that's mad Brad sat on that flat mat. Try it out.
Matt Pratt sat on that flat mat.
Very good. Maybe your whisper is a little bit too squeezed. I can tell that Matt Brad sat. There's some pieces of voice that come through. So try to relax it more. This is really important because if you don't do the whisper right, you might perhaps have some artifacts happening in your voice. That's a really nonsensical word that means a lot of things can happen. But basically, that mad brat, right? For example, here, your vocal folds are really stiff. They struggle to vibrate because you have too much tension. The whispers when you gender your voice, either masc or fem, always have to feel as easy as a normal breath. When I breathe like... not like a zombie. Not that that's what you do, of course. Like making a big caricature out of this. But, caricatures help because, we tend to hear the extremes. Anyways, so you do this. You reach that slightly stiff spot. So reach first that high spot and then try to relax it enough so that it feels like a gentle breath. Or even better, try not to reach that straining point at all. So, and then gentle breath. Test that it's easy to breathe through. Yeah. Yes, that's much better. And I try to say, pat that cat. Pat that cat. Pat that cat. That's so much better. Bright and smooth. Beautiful. And now what I want to do is take the ah sound here and we listen closely. Remember what I did before? We want to bridge from a whisper into a breathy sound, into a balanced sound. This is a breathy, this is a whispery sound. This is a breathy sound. And this is a balanced sound. Right? So we're going to try to go, pat that cat. Pat that cat. Make sure you have enough air for this. All right, try it out. Start on the bright whisper. Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Yeah, and say, pat that cat. All right, that's okay. What happened here is a very common thing. You basically jumped for your M2. nonsensical word for you. Maybe like Mickey Mouse voice. Singing theory tends to call it falsetto. So like, like, oh kids, like it's kind of this really high-pitched voice that sounds a little bit fake. And it's because when you are so high in pitch, especially if you don't have much experience using these high pitches in the first place, at least not for voices that sound realistic, because cartoon voices tend to do that a lot. M2 tends to not close the vocal folds fully and tends to lack a lot of vocal fold mass, aka the vocal folds kind of don't behave the same way that they would at low pitches like this. So the quick fix for this would be to avoid such a high pitch in the first place. Let's try this. Let's try to find a pitch that works well for the both of us. I did go a little bit too high, that's my bad. Let's do a G3. Mimic after me. Give me a G3, even in your mask voice if you must. Oh. Try that.
Sorry. I don't know why.
Sorry, mask. It's okay. You're fine.
Do the tone again.
Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Awesome. Sorry, it's probably the bird brain taking over again. So, let's try this. We have this dark sound. I'm gonna turn it fem. So we go, same pitch. Try it out.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's good. No, you're doing it right. You're doing it right. It's okay. You're you're a little bit stressed. It's okay. It's fine. So one of the things that happens is when you go up in pitch, right? Your voice can do two things. This can happen typically. So, do you hear that? That break here. That's what we call the passaggio, right? Or the break in the voice. And basically this is where the vocal folds are like, yeah, I am vibrating so fast, I basically am giving up, and so switching to a different mechanism, which gives this like more light, more fake sounding voice that can be more attributed to like, I guess like cartoonish voices or like Mickey Mouse voice, right? There's ways to make these higher pitches like sound you like probably useful and stuff if you like manage to bring the vocal fold mass back in. But what's important is that we can have overlap with these different ranges. So typically, if my voice breaks at like from F3, like all of this space is jumped, right? Then, I just quickly switch to this other mechanism, and I don't really have a nice bridge over this. But because I jump here to here, doesn't mean that this part is necessarily like your modal voice, so your normal voice, or M2, like your falsetto voice. So typically here, I can have like speak with like my falsetto fake voice even really low, right? I guess it works really well for cartoons. I mean, this one is kind of funny, to be honest. But, and the same way goes for the going up. So, this is a G3, it's here. Right? And you can tell my voice is kind of like, louder because I'm carrying all of that vocal fold mass all the way up here, right? But these are like just different mechanisms. All you need to know is that you very quickly jump into that second mechanism, right? So you speak normal in your whatever, your bird voice, your default voice, right? And so, exactly. And so when you go for a fem voice, you kind of quickly jump into that M2, which kind of has your voice sound a little bit too fluttery, too hollow. So we want to keep that texture. Let's try a lower pitch, I suppose. Okay, I need my pitch tracker for this. F3. Okay, mimic after me here. Yes, very good. I know it sounds like this pitch cannot sound fem, because but it can. This is what we're going to try to do. Let's try this again.
Oh, pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Great. And now we try this. Same pitch. We think about and we go into pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Yes, there you go. And now you notice you have this pat that cat. It's a little bit shaky, it's a bit fluttery, but this time pat that cat has like texture that makes it sound like a real voice. As opposed to, you could have jumped again in M2, by the way. Like, you could have done pat that cat again into M2. Because again, M2 is a range, is like a type of mechanism that can be very much overlapping with these low pitches too. So you didn't do that yet, here, I mean, and that worked out for you. So pat that cat. Can you do it again? I love that sound. Pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Very good. Awesome. And now from here, can you read the sentence? Pat that cat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Beautiful. All right. Good. This is a femme voice. Granted, it's a monotonous beep boop 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 robot-like voice, right? That mad brat sat on that flat mat. That's because we are staying monotonous. What we want to do here is to modify and move up and down and up and down. So that mad brat sat, like that mad brat sat. Try this. That mad brat.
That mad brat.
Careful here. That mad brat and out. This is twofolds. First of all, yeah, you're going for your larynx here. Your larynx probably dropped. Don't sustain it with your hand, by the way. Just, just saying. So that's
just feeling.
proud. Good. So you reach this. That's not proud, right? And you went really far down in pitch. So basically, you just kind of went from, that's not the right one. That mad. You did that from here. That mad. And then you did proud. Down to C3, right? So it's like, right? So low pitches in femme voice are fine. By the way, these are common socially gendered ranges. This is an arbitrary thing I've made. There is no like paper that says this is the right way. Like maybe statistically this might hold some relevancy, but there's masc voices that are like
All the way up here, right? Like if you think like of a big, boomy voice, like a TV announcer, perhaps.
or vice versa, like you can have like like voices that are feminine at the pitch of C3, right? Which is the pitch you landed at. So technically the pitch was not the issue. It's how you made that pitch sound, right? That mad brat could also have been that mad brat, like so, right? But it's a bit more difficult. I would say for beginning, it's easier to avoid those low pitches like C3, C sharp 3, D3, D sharp 3 are a little bit more difficult. And I would advise you to like start with higher pitches and then slowly work your way down as you figure out how to maintain that bright and soft quality and bring that lower and lower and lower and lower and lower in pitch, right? So that's my main recommendation. And of course, you noticed your voice was fine when it was monotonous. That mad brat sat on that flat mat because we removed the modulation of pitch as a variable. So that made it more easy for you to focus on how bright you are and how stable that is. This is why I went monotonous. If you sound like a robot, it's my fault. I made you do that. But also, it's easier that way to kind of isolate the pitches. One type of practice I like to do is like go for different pitches. Like I go, that mad brat sat on that flat mat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. And so on and so forth, up until I reach maybe C4, a little bit higher if you feel challenging, that can be good. Or lower, and maybe covering all the way down to C3. Because each of these pitches have the potential to revert you to your masc voice. And that's basically what you want to be aware of. Fem voice is something that happens over time, consistently. You, like, honestly, people don't realize this, but having a snippet of fem voice is so easy. Same for masc voice. It's more so that, like, keeping it over a long period of time and making it coherent and natural sounding by moving around like a wide range, etc., whilst keeping the bright sound, the softness, that is the difficult part. That is what makes a voice a voice. So yeah, but otherwise you had this really solid sample of a fem voice. So I'll just say keep working at it, record yourself, listen back to yourself, and repeat, rinse and repeat that feedback loop until you get what you want. All right, Tenexi, I will be seeing you around. Everyone give a big round of applause to Tenexi. Woo! All right, see you around. Good luck with your voice. Bye-bye. Okay, next up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices more masculine. If you want to make your voice more masculine, jump in place, raise your hand, or use the hand emoji. Masc voice going once, masc voice going twice, masc voice going thrice. All right, fem voice it is again. If you want to make your voice feminine, jump in place, raise your hand. All right, I've seen you here. A shadow melt, yes? It's the bunny ears. Yeah, there's a bunny bias here. Have you already been on stage before?
One.
You have been?
One, yeah.
Would you mind letting someone else who has not been on stage go?
Of course.
Thank you. I'll answer questions after the workshop if you want some help. All right. Zero. Have you already been on stage before? No? All right, come up on stage. Come on. All right, everyone give a big round of applause to Zero. Woo! Please don't tell me you crashed. Okay, good. I got scared here.
I was just trying to mute something.
Hi.
Okay.
Hi. What, is it like the Twitch chat? What's happening?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, hi, Twitch. There's double Twitch happening. Crossover when? No one told me. Okay. Sorry, let's get started. All right. Welcome, Zero. Welcome up on stage. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. I won't play dumb. The question, have you already done stuff with your voice, does not really apply to you.
Yeah.
I can obviously tell. So what is it that you come up here on stage for? Do you just want to sharpen your knowledge on this? Or maybe there's something specific that you like to do with your voice?
Well, whenever I do record my voice and check stuff, I feel like there's something missing. Like when I do the whole like pat that cat thing, it works, but the moment I try to like go from a more singing voice to a speaking voice, I feel like there's something missing that to me sounds more masculine, and I cannot narrow it down what is causing it and how to fix it. And like I've been taking voice classes before professionally for a couple months, but had to stop because of like work related stuff, and I'm kind of stuck. Like it's been like half a year.
Okay, interesting. Okay, there's two things. First of all, given that you are really advanced with your voice, it shows, right? Like, I'm hearing already your voice is really bright, it's already very soft, and it's very much high in pitch. You say when you go from singing to speaking. So what you mean by singing is like going monotonous to keep stability and then
Yeah,
moving around up and down, right?
Like when I'm doing like the like pat that cat, that like feels like better for me. But the moment like I record the voice that I have right now, I feel like there is something more masculine about it, and I have no idea how to like incorporate the stuff.
Okay,
That
so if I
makes
may,
sense.
I'm gonna make your voice a little bit. I'm probably not gonna be able to do the accent because I don't know what your accent is. But like, so like, so one thing I would say is like, I hear that this pitch is like around here, but like what I'm mostly grabbing from your voice or getting from your voice is like that it's maybe leaning more on like the monotonous side. Like there's like not a lot of modulation up and down, right? For example, you might say, "Hello, how are you doing?" instead of saying, "Hello, how are you doing?" Right? So perhaps what you would be, what you are lacking, perhaps that maybe you perceive consciously or not as being feminine or masculine, is perhaps that the more monotonous pitch modulation can tend to sound more masculine. Actually, this is this slide is pretty much on topic here, where like different sentences can sound more or less masculine or feminine depending on how you intonate it. Although that, however, is definitely a more social, component. To be honest, your voice is fine. Like, it sounds femme, no questions asked. So I just want to put that out there because, people, you hear this, you're like, oh no, this is not femme. No, it is femme. Like, it's a social thing, right? Like, there's absolutely girls that speak really low in pitch and like have barely like any intonation. Like, imagine like you're depresso girl of like, yeah, what do you want? No, I'm not gonna like sing for you. No, I'm gonna keep chill, like keep monotonous. I don't care. You're basically that voice, but higher in pitch. Da 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 da, right? So like da 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 da. But even you are actually a bit more intonated because you have like this. You like speak like this da 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 da, and then you kind of like have a bit of up speak. So you sometimes move a little bit higher, but it's not like a consistent thing like during the sentence. So let's try and practice that. All right. Here. I just want you to read me that very first sentence up on the board. Give it a try.
Okay, sure. Okay, hello, good morning, how are you?
Okay, hello, good morning, how are you? So, da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. So it's like a variation of, let me check my pitch monitoring app for this. Hello, good morning, how are you? Da-da-da, da-da. Da, 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 da. It's like 3 pitches. Hello, good morning. How are you? It's like it's very narrow, right? Like the variation is like C4, B3, and G3 or A3, sorry. So it's like da 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 da. Hello, good morning. How are you? Right? Whereas you could maybe try to have hello, good morning, like trying to slide down, well, up and then down, straight out.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello, good morning, how are you?
Yes, just that already. Hello, good morning, how are you? How does that sound like compared to the first one you did?
And it feels smoother, like better. I can never like put into words. Yeah.
You just did it here too, like it feels smoother. Yeah, instead of saying it feels smoother, right? You already are starting to do it. So it's really just learning to modify your intonation, because this is not something that we generally teach, because it's technically not voice feminization. It's more like polish, I suppose. And this is very dependent on the culture. Like, depending on where you are in the world, this might not be true at all. Like, especially like think of like Mandarin, think like of Chinese. These are tonal languages. They actually require the pitch to move up and down for meaning in their words. So, moving up and down like this is not as required and as expected of female Chinese speakers. Well, femininely Chinese speakers. So yeah, we could try to go for the rest of the text here if you want. Try the next one.
Okay, I'll have a cup of tea. Coffee, please.
You're fine. Oh, I like tea more than coffee too. I'll have a cup of coffee, please. Try this. I'll have a cup of coffee.
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
All right. Please. Dramatic. Yeah, very good. It's like that really adds that question here. I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
Okay.
All right.
I'll have a cup of coffee, please.
That's a bit more flat. By flat, I mean like the intonation doesn't vary as much. I definitely like the one that you did before more. That's okay though. Try the next one.
Okay.
Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones.
Ugh, I forgot to take my hormones.
Very good. Are you really sure about that?
Are you really sure about that?
Okay. I think I have a craving for pickles.
I think I have a craving for pickles.
Very good. Awesome. All right, I think this is it. There is something I noticed, and I'm sorry because this is at the end of our allotted time, so I will not be able to help you on this, but this is something you can keep in mind. Maybe ask a different teacher in the future, a different coach, or maybe ask a question at the end of the workshop or other workshops. Is that I definitely noticed something in your voice. You sound quite nasal. Perhaps you're sharing the same curse as me, where you also are doing like hay fever season. Like speaking from the nose is very difficult not to. But like I do definitely hear that you put a lot of words in the nose. Like I hear this like when you say huh, like instead of saying huh, like huh, you know, like you kind of say huh. So it goes a little bit
Yeah.
through the nose. And so typically I'm going to be really quick with this because time constraints. Where is this? There we go. Basically, when you speak, right, you generally just say ah, e, o, just all the sound goes just right out of your mouth. Except when you say m as in my, or n as in no, or ng as in sing, right? But then there's French sounds like which makes the the infamous French sounds, basically. And basically, you can like actually practice like a nasality gradient, like, and kind of try to play around with that sound. One of my more favorite things to do this is to take sentences that actively have a ton of nasal sounds and like purposefully removing these sounds. So like for example here, mesmerizing melodies all go through the nose. The m, mesmerizing melodies. So instead of the m, you would have a b. So you would have mesmerizing turn into mesmerizing. And it really sounds like my nose is stuffy, even though it's not. It's just that, you know, like I'm forcing that. And so this can be a really useful tool to use. You know, turn your M's into B's, turn your N as a no into D's. So 9 unnamed ninjas becomes 9 unnamed ninjas. Oh God, I really sound sick. I'm so feeling sorry for myself, and I know I'm not sick. Singing long songs becomes singing long songs, right? Because it's the closest like relative sound to that without the nasality. Because all you want to do is learn how to control this little red thing, which is the velum. And perhaps this could go from making your voice sound like, hello, how are you, to hello, how are you? Perhaps like a smaller, smoother sound. I do notice this a little bit in your voice. It's not all the time, it's on certain sounds. So just keep that in mind and maybe try to work at it, see how that goes for you.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
That's pretty much
Thank
it.
you so much.
You are super welcome. Everyone, give a big round of applause to Zero. Woo!
Thank you.
So this is cool because we don't get to do a lot of more advanced, more polished stuff. So I barely ever get to talk about nasality. So, and I guess in a way, I know it's difficult to deal with this, but also, yay, I get to talk about it. All right, last but not least, up on stage, I want to see someone who wants to make their voices more feminine jump in place. If you want to do so, raise your hand. All right, you're all the way up in front, and I'm nearsighted. Alak, yes. Have you already been on stage before?
I have not.
You have not. Come up on stage. Come on, come on. Everyone give it a blah, 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 blah. Rewind. Everyone give a big round of applause to Alak. Woo! Hello, welcome. Hi. All right.
Hi.
Let me hi. Let me start a little timer, so I kind of keep track of time. Yeah, the timer you can tell are like a suggestion. Anyways, welcome on stage. All right. Have you already done some voice work of your own before?
I have only been to the previous workshop and
Oh, yeah.
have not done anything besides
Okay. All right. So let's see. How do you make your voice femme? You've seen everyone else go in front before you, so you maybe have followed along, hopefully. So let's try the following. I want to
okay.
hear your range from your lowest up to your highest.
that. Okay. Lower. Oh.
Oh, C4. Okay, very good. Up to D sharp 4, very good.
Me vou dar outra.
We're
A
not gonna
voz
need to go
and a
that
text.
high. That's fine. You can maybe like work in the future to like gain higher and higher pitches, but for now, let's just stay here. By the way, I never even go that high. I mean, except when I do like crazy high intonations. But you know, that's a little bit, voice acted stuff, so it's not really normal. Okay, let's try this. Give me a whisper on the words "pat that cat."
Pat that cat.
Hat, cat, mad.
Yeah.
Pat that cat.
Again.
Pat, cat, cat.
All right, very good. And now we're gonna try this.
Pat, pat.
Pat, 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 pat that cat.
Pat, 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 pat,
Pat that cat.
pat, cat.
Very good. All right, awesome. And now from this, pat that cat. You can also use your hand and track your Adam's apple. Don't press down, just like feel for it, if that can help you, know where it is. And so you have done this.
Okay.
Pat that cat. Now I want you to try this. We have seen that you can go up to C4. Let's try to find a pitch that matches both of our ranges. That's not a pitch, that's a drum thing. Okay. Can you mimic this pitch after me?
Oh. Oh. Good. Pat that cat.
Mad, cat.
Okay.
Pat that cat. Let's go a bit higher. Da 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 da. Pat that cat. Da 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 da. Higher. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Pat,
Try to keep that pitch here. Yes. Awesome. That's it.
Okay.
Pat that cat.
Again.
Pat, cat.
Okay, good. Low pitch now.
Pat that cat.
Mad, cat.
And now, ba 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 ba. Pat that cat.
Pat, cat.
Careful.
Pat that cat. You're low again. Pa da 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 da. Pat that cat.
Pat. Oh, sorry.
It's okay. What we're doing here is I can tell that you struggle to achieve that not really high pitch, but the higher pitch here. And so I know that if you are gonna do the closure gradient, like you're gonna want to land on that high pitch. But if you struggle to reach that pitch in your masc voice already, right, then you might do something like right? The bridge might not happen correctly. Yeah, exactly. So we could try to do the bridge without that. That might be a bit challenging, but you know, it can be good to like kind of be able to do that bounce back, like
Uh.
uh yeah. Yeah, you did that. Okay, cool. You can do it. Okay, good. Pitch accuracy is really helpful because you are already juggling with like brightness, darkness. It's kind of difficult. So it's good to like kind of put the pitch as well, like on the table, so that your brain kind of remembers it, your muscle memory remembers it, etc., etc. All right, now let's try this. Pat, cat. Good. So we have this pat, cat, really bright. And now we remember the pitch. Oh. And we want to bridge that cat into that pitch, effectively turning it into pat, cat. Try it out.
Pat. Pat, mad, cat.
Okay, that's brighter. That mad cat. As opposed to, oh, that mad cat. Right, so you've done a brighter version. However, I have not heard a slide from whisper to breathy to balance. I've heard that cat, and then that cat, like a brighter version of your voice, but not as bright as what I've heard your whispers able to go, right? Like your whispers can go much higher than what you are yielding with the balanced voice. This is why I really emphasize on, doing the closure right. So you actually use the whisper as a way to tell, oh, how bright am I? Or how small is my vocal tract, So let's try this. Okay, but still, not the closure gradient. How do we do the closure gradient? We go from a whisper into a breathy sound, into a balanced sound. And it sounds like this. Okay, wait a second. Let me do the whole demonstration. I'll demonstrate the full closure gradient. Pat that cat. All right, now you can try.
Bad mad cat.
Yes, very good. However, let's see, what's the sound? F3, E3. You notice this happened. That mad cat. Oh, it's turned to that mad cat. It's funny. Let's have proper sentences for this. Okay, that mad cat, right? So like here, that's already a lot brighter. So let's try to test it on this sentence here. So we try this. And you say, that's mad brats.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Awesome. And let's try this. That into
That mad brat sat on
Yes!
that flat mat.
Yes, that's really good. Okay, you're getting it. Okay, whew. We got there. Yes. That mad rat sat on that flat mud. You lost a bit of that brightness at the end. That's okay, but you got it at the first. You got it, like on the first part of the sentence. That's very good. That mad rat sat on a flat mat. So let's try to go for a slightly higher pitch. That mad brat. Try it out.
That mad rat sat on that flat mat.
Do you notice what happened? That mad brat. You went from a really bright voice, bright whisper, really bright, and then that mad brat. You lost that brightness. You heard it in the whisper, right? It dropped, right? So you would want to keep that same brightness all the way through. Not because then you return back to a darker sound. That's why I emphasize so much on doing the closure gradient right, because otherwise you're going to slowly lose a little bit each time you do it. And then you're like, wait, I don't sound right anymore. What's happened? And I'm like, yeah, it's on the onset. So yeah. So you did it right a few times. You've been struggling a few times too with this, but this is like difficult stuff, okay? Like some others make it look easy, some others have more experience and more time on this, but you did get that sound. That mad brat. I will say, the lower in pitch you are, the harder it is. So like, the pitch you're going for is F3 and E3. So you have a double challenge. You have to bring your pitch higher and make your vocal tract smaller, right? It's a twofold challenge. A lot of the people that came before you here, they already had an easy time with those higher pitches. This might be a little bit more difficult for you. So I would say that you want to, yes, work on brightening your voice like that's still a very good thing to do, but you also would want to like do something that's more like singing, right? Like
Da, 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 da.
Even disregarding the feminine components of voice as well, like, you know,
Da, 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 da.
kind of like going across your range and becoming more familiar with these pitches. I heard you go all the way up to E4, right? So you could technically work on all of this range, but right now I've mostly heard your baseline voice talk with like A2, B2. It's like most of your voice is kind of here right now when you speak. You're able to go all the way up here, right? But you never use these pitches, right? There's a difference between like being able to hit a pitch once and being able to like do it reliably, right? This is why at the very start we kind of did the back and forth a little bit, you know, kind of like to reinforce that ability to jump back and forth from like a low pitch up to a high pitch, up to a low pitch, up to a high pitch, right? Even if it's masc. Right? These were not the exact pitches, by the way. But anyways. So yeah, let's try it one more time and then we'll wrap up here. So let's try this.
Okay.
Like, let's do a call and response. Don't do it at the same time as me, right?
Okay.
It's important that
Sorry.
you listen.
Sorry.
That it's okay. Stressful, I know. It's not easy. But it's important that you learn how to listen. Not because you're doing it at the same time as me, but for yourself. At the end of this, I want you to be able to listen to your voice and be like, okay, this is bright, this is dark, or, oh, this is high in pitch, this is low in pitch. I want you to be able to listen to the property of others' voices, like mine, and yours, most importantly, because that allows you to kind of hear what's going on in other people's voices, kind of gives you more awareness of what will happen with your voice when you practice it. So call and response. I go, you go. I'll kind of like show you with my hand. Okay? Try this.
Okay.
Big dark.
But that cat.
Cat, mad cat.
Okay. Now this.
Pa, 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 pa. Pa, 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 pa.
Good.
Better. I'm struggling to
Okay.
get the
I know
voice
why you're
actually
struggling. I know where you're struggling. Listen to your whisper. It's too tight. It's too strained. There's too much air. And because there is too much air, the vocal folds are like, I don't know how to close around this. There is too much air, you know? So a simple fix to this would be to reduce how much you breathe out. Instead prefer like a, it should prove easier. Try it out. Yeah, it still works. There you go. Okay.
Mad rat sat on that flat mat.
Very good. That man red sat on that flat mat. You lost it towards the sat because it kind of trailed back down to your neutral voice. Or like your older voice, I guess. Blah, blah, blah. But yeah, that's it. Okay. So when you do those whispers, keep your voice soft. If you don't, it's going to be more difficult. It's frustrating because when you do this, bright whisper, it's really easy to hear how bright you are, but makes it more easy to hear how bright you are, but also makes it harder to reach a balanced voice from that whisper. And when you're quieter, well, you manage to reach a balanced voice more easily, but you also don't hear if you are as bright as you would want. You know, it's easier to tell pat from part, but it's hard to tell pat from pot because they're quieter, right? So, you know, you could try to first go for the louder ones at first, but at the end of the day, the best thing to do is kind of like, you know, maybe do the loud ones first to kind of like tell, okay, pa, pa, pa. This is a bright, high position of the larynx. Pa, pa, pa. This is a dark, low position of the larynx, and then try to always go quiet. Because another thing to note here is that every time you use whispers, you dry out your voice. And if you keep drying out your voice, you can eventually reach fatigue. And if you have more and more fatigue, you reach vocal damage, and you never want to reach vocal damage, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind as well. Voice training is like not dangerous, but be mindful. This goes for everyone here, by the way. Whispers are an incredibly good tool, but they're also like a double-edged, sharp sword, so yeah. But you did get that bright sound. So as long as you make your whispers softer, you should be good to go. And yeah, also the emphasis on trying to use those higher pitches. Also use them in your masc voice, because then you can easily translate that in your fem voice, right? And you can go under the radar of people sussing you out. Like if you just use it in your masc voice. I don't know if you're like out publicly or whatever. I know that can be like more difficult for some. So yeah, that can be like a little tip for you. So yeah, practice on pitch, practice that bright sound, that bright whisper, but make it soft as much as possible. And you should be good to go, Ayla. All right.
Thanks.
I'll see you around. Everyone give a big round of applause to Ayla. Woo! Good job. I'll see you around.
See ya.
All right. See ya. Okay. What time is it? Oh God, it's so late. All right. I will take 2 questions, but 2 short ones, and then I'll wrap up because I don't want to keep the broadcast team and the hostage for too long. Okay, so what questions do we have? Let's start with Twitch. Rory, what do we got? All right, perfect. And V, do you have any questions from Discord?
I don't have any. I gave people a heads up that we probably wouldn't have time, so...
Okay, that's fair. That's super fair. Okay, I don't think we will have time anyways. So, yeah, people, thank you for showing up to this workshop today. So sorry that it started late. I hope this doesn't happen again, but my VR headset went... So that was kind of scary. Anyways, maybe I could have died here, like Sword Art Online style or something, perhaps. But yeah, I'll be seeing all of you beautiful people again next. Hello.
I need help. I feel like I'm stuck.
You're stuck? Is this happening? What's happening? All right, I'll just, wrap up this workshop, and yeah, maybe I'll answer your question a bit later. Okay, so everyone, I'll see you around next Sunday, as per usual in VRChat. Yeah, I see question mark here. I know, I'm confused too. So yeah, let me do the end of the workshop blurble. Hey everyone, my name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization as well as voice masculinization, also voice androgynization. Fun little thing like voice acting, singing, and also crazy thing called human beatboxing with sounds such as So if you learn any of these weird rhythmic sounds, or just learn how to make your voice more feminine or masculine, let me know. I have a Discord account, which is savvy_sav, just like my name, but all in lowercase. You can ask me for scheduling public lessons or private lessons if you want to. Other than that, I have a Discord server called Scientifically Augmented Voice, which you can join by clicking on the link in my bio here in VRChat. Join it if you want. I do public lessons, even more so recently than before. So if you want to have extra stuff to listen to, you can go there as well. Of course, there's the Trans Academy, the ODs, and there's the wonderful colleague of mine, Jessa, who also teaches classes at the Academy. So stay alert for all of this. And otherwise, I'll see you again in this workshop setting next time. All right, everyone, unmute yourselves. Say bye, YouTube, bye, Discord, and bye, Twitch. Bye. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.